goes up for the second chance point.
Wants three, give her three.
Inbound, Leonidas, this one will count.
Two teams looking for their first Mountain West Conference wins of the season meet up this afternoon at ExtraMile Arena in Boise. The Utah State Aggies take on the Boise State Broncos. Good afternoon with former Boise State standout Heather Berry. I am Mark Snyder. Boise State has not played since New Year's Eve, having games at Wyoming and Nevada canceled or postponed due to COVID. So Heather, the big question for Gordy Presnell's young Boise State team, how important is it to get out to a good start this afternoon?
It is imperative that the Broncos come out and are hot from the beginning. As Coach Petrino told us as we were doing the scouting report for this broadcast today, the Broncos have got to come play in the first 39 minutes and not wait until that last minute where games are decided.
Their last three losses have been by a total of 10 points, and that's where senior leadership, the transfer from Brown, Dominique Leonidas, the leading scorer for Boise State, can be so key.
Dominique has done it. As you see, she's leading the team right now with 10.5 points per game. She is doing it on the assist with 5 a game. And that New Mexico game, as we see here, she came to play with 21 points. Although she played very hard, the Broncos couldn't come up with that victory.
For the Utah State Aggies and their second-year head coach, Kayla Ard, well, they've gone deep into that transfer portal. All 5 starters are transfers from other programs making their way to Logan. 75% of the Aggie scoring comes from these transfers. They are also winless in conference play. They're going to be aggressive and try to attack. The leader there is Kaylin Randawa, their leading scorer at 16 points.
Kayla is a scorer, and she is trying to get this Utah State team, who is just like the Broncos, not only from a freshman perspective, but a transfer perspective, trying to figure out how you get together. They've got some great players on their team, and just like the Broncos, they're trying to figure out how to get that camaraderie and stuff off the field or off the floor during this season.
There you see them against New Mexico the other day down in Logan. They played close early on, but then the Lobos pulled away to a double-digit win.
They did, as this game was going back and forth, back and forth. It was one that made it to the very end, and the Aggies just couldn't get over that hump with the Lobos taking it by 15.
Randawa, the transfer from University of Pacific, their leading scorer, trying to lead the Aggies to their first conference win. One of these teams will have a 1 in the win column after this afternoon. We've got the Aggies and the Broncos coming up next here on the Mountain West Network. Stay tuned. Head coach Gordy Presnell in his 17th season at Boise State, 35th overall, over 700 wins in his career, 313 and 199 at Boise State, and we're about set to go. The Broncos in their lucky orange uniforms, they're 2-0 this season when wearing the orange, so maybe, Heather, that's one way to get off the schneid.
It is. Let's see if the Broncos can come out to a quick start right here, as we see the Aggies are in a man defense
Down
for the
low
first possession of the game.
To Lalott, and then we have a whistle. So we'll set the starters for you. The Broncos, Mary Kay Nero, Anna Osley, Dominique Leonidas, Elodie Lalott, and Abby Muse, the 5 in orange. This is Leonidas from the right wing, buries the triple.
Nice look right there for the out-of-bounds play by the Broncos. 3-pointer on the board.
And the Aggies will start with Elise Stafford, Manna Mensah, Kaylin Randawa, Shiloh Latone, and Lacey Hawthorne as they attack in the dark jerseys and get the basket by Latone.
This Utah State Aggies team is a team that will drive that ball to the basket. And we see on that first play exactly what we've known them for.
Osley outside, top. Guarded there by Mensah and gives it up again to Nero. Mary Kay. They go down low. Muse throws it away. Turnover, Stafford with the steal. Stafford on the right. Gives it up to Hawthorne. That's Mensah off the mark. Ball on the deck. Who wants it? Utah State's Hawthorne down low for the bucket by Mensah. Way to stay with it for the Aggies, and they take the lead.
Aggies are coming out strong here. As you see, they got a couple possessions on that last possession, a couple looks on that last possession, and were able to score the basket.
Muse can't get it to drop, but she draws the foul. And this is where Boise State can use the 6'3" sophomore to their advantage, getting her the ball down in the low block.
As you see, Muse had 3 defenders on her. Broncos are definitely trying to get the ball in low. As we talked about on the scouting report, that is a place that the Broncos can dominate today.
Abby Muse, 4th in the Mountain West with over 1.2 blocks a game. And their leading rebounder at 7+ a game. That one skips in and out and back in, and the Broncos retake the lead. Mensah at the top. Swing it to Stafford. Rendawa hasn't touched the ball yet today. Broncos doing a good job with Narrow guarding her and denying the basketball. Layup missed, and Muse with the rebound. Good defense by the Broncos. Muse takes it strong, but can't get it to drop. Hawthorne. Wild off the glass under good defense by Boise State's Shyla Latone. Elodie Lalott. Offensive rebound. Muse can't get it to drop. Missed the second follow, but drew the foul.
Nice hustle right there by the Broncos. That long O-board. Abby and Elodie went for it, as you can see here. That long rebound. Muse got it. Little rejected by the front of the basket, but kept tussling, and now she's headed to the free throw line.
3rd rebound already from Muse, and now into the game for Utah State. Just back off an injury is Adriana Quezada, the junior transfer from the University of Texas at San Antonio. As Muse hits the first, Quezada averages double figures a game with 10. And Muse hits the pair. And now we have a whistle and officials tell you our officials are veteran Darren Kresnick, and then Ashley Ellis and Felicity Willis are the other 2 officials, as the Broncos lead by 3 here in the early going first quarter.
This Utah State team is a fast team, as we can see here, really trying to get something set up on this offensive possession.
Good defense in the low post. Hawthorne, they kick it out to Mensah. Shot clock down to 5. And Lalott with a strong defense.
What a play right there by Elodie Lalott. Turning one-on-one, nice hands, block, out of bounds, Bronco ball.
Without fouling, which is really tough against a shorter, quicker player. And now we have a travel against the Broncos. One thing I've noticed in the different styles, Utah State dribble heavy, trying to create an opportunity, as opposed to the extra pass, trying to find somebody open. It's kind of a different approach and more of a dribble-oriented offense.
They're a very high transition team, is what we would call it. They're really trying to push that ball to get the other team off their rocker, as we would say, to try to get that easy open basket.
Mensah, first touch for Rendawa, and her pass to the low post, kicked away and stolen by Narrow. Quick outlet pass to Leonidas, and Dominique puts it in.
What an offensive play by the Broncos. Nice up the floor by Mary Kay with the no dribble basket by Dominique.
Boise State's biggest lead at 5. There's Rendawa. Started again by Narrow. And Mensah, transfer from Murray State out of Toronto, Canada. 10 on the shot clock. Boise State defense really strong. That one wild off the glass, but the long rebound. Rendawa runs it down, and a fresh shot clock for the Aggies. Rendawa buries the free throw line jumper.
And that's what we're going to see from her. That's what she is known for. She's the scorer of this Aggies team. She's long. She's got it where she can shoot above everybody. And she just showed us right there what she can do.
Down low for the bucket by Lalott. Good spacing, and Elodie Lalott with the hoop.
A nice assist right there by Abby Muse finding her other post-to-post, something I'll always love and will always talk about.
Off balance, scoop shot drops through for Quezada. And you can see how this Utah State team just attacks the rim. A lot short on that jumper.
One of the keys for the Broncos is to kind of contain that transition that the Aggies put on. And as you can tell already, this is a very fast-paced game that both teams are playing.
And that ball deflected out of bounds, and we'll have a timeout on the floor. Boise State leading the Aggies 11-8, thanks in large measure to a three-pointer by Dominique Leonidas. Back after this timeout on the Mountain West Network. With Boise State leading 11-8, the Broncos shooting just 3 of 9 from the field, and their Aggie opponents are 4 of 10. Broncos are 1 of 2 from the three-point line, and they lead by 3 as they will inbound in front of us here. Doing the honors, Trista Hull now into the game, the freshman from Yakima, Washington. Narrow back to Hull. Leonidas down low for Rachel Bowers now in the contest as well. Narrow has that one skim in and out. Rebound by Hull, and she is fouled going. No, it's a jump ball, correction. And on the alternating possession, it will be Utah State's ball.
Nice hustle right here by Trista coming in, making a statement right off the bench. It's what the Broncos are looking for and exactly what she needs to continue to do.
Quezada tied her up for the jump. Aggies with a basketball, down 3. Nice backdoor cut. The shot spins off, however. And the rebound pulled down by Boise State. In the corner, Leonidas. They left her open. That's a mistake.
That is Leonidas that we have seen, and I'm so excited that three-point went down for her. Hopefully she can continue to have a game like she did the last time the Broncos were here playing in ExtraMile Arena.
She has 8, and the rebound to Hull. Here comes Narrow. Narrow, bounce pass is intercepted in the lane.
Nice look right there by the Broncos. Leonidas was making her way down the floor. Just happened the Aggies got to that ball before the Broncos did.
Wild three-pointer is off the mark by Mensa. Narrow into the forecourt. Osley, and an offensive foul called against Boise State. Away from the ball, a bad screen set by Rachel Bowers, the senior from Newhall, California.
As you can see here, Rachel moved a little bit. When you set those screens, you got to stop, stay in place. Those are fouls that, as a big, you don't want to get an open floor. You'd rather waste those fouls on the far end of the floor, trying to block the shot or something.
Emmy Harris, senior from Danville, Kentucky, one of the few non-transfers on this Aggie team, guarded by Leonidas across the timeline. Deep 3, off the mark. Bowers clears the glass. Latone not shy on the outside. Now the turnover, and this is Quezada. Quezada pounds the dribble to the baseline, spins, nice pass underneath for Latone, who missed the shot, however, and Osley comes down with it for Boise State. She's got a lane, now hands behind her to Narrow, her triple off the mark. Bowers had the rebound, but it goes out of bounds to the Aggies.
Both teams are getting great looks at the basket. They're just not having great success at getting the ball in there, but both are hustling and gritting great shots on the offensive sides.
Boise State coaches thought they could exploit the paint and really command inside. If this is any indication of that, Heather, I think they're well on their way. 14-6 rebounding advantage for Boise State here in the first quarter with 2:35 to go.
Yeah, the Broncos have been a great team on the offensive glass to be able to get a couple looks at the basket. And as you can see, that is working its magic today during this first half of this game.
Quezada spins and travels. Good defense, staying home by Trista Hull.
It is. The Aggies player kind of got a little stuck, as you can see here. She thought maybe Hull was about to come up. Unfortunately, Hull had great position. Travel, Bronco ball.
Turnover gives the ball back to Boise State. Leonidas. Pass to the post, deflected, and she gets it back. And a travel on Boise State's Jada Clark, the freshman from Richland, Washington.
Yeah, the Aggies right here are in the zone defense, and it caused the Broncos to get a little off their heels, and it worked on the Aggies side. Turnover, Aggies ball.
Olivia Wickstrom, a sophomore from Bainbridge Island, Washington, and Northern Colorado. Another transfer checks in for the Aggies. Nice block by Narrow, but the Aggies get the ball back for a jumper that's missed. Offensive rebound by Wickstrom and a reset of the clock for the Aggies.
Aggies are getting their third look at the basket here. The Broncos have got to do a better job blocking out on the defensive end.
And that ball sails out of bounds off the hands of Emmy Harris under really good defensive pressure. And you have to think, when you have a team that dribbles as much as Utah State does, your defensive footwork is that much more important, isn't it?
It is. You've got to beat that. You've got to beat the offensive player one step ahead in order to get them on the defensive end.
Leonidas, they swing it cross court to Narrow.
Aggies are in a kind of a matchup zone, it looks like here.
Narrow off the window, doesn't get it to go. Rebound by Hull. She was blocked. And Utah State the other way. Harris, and a whistle and a foul on the Broncos.
Yeah, this Aggie team is going to continue to push every time, and that is exactly what they want. They want to get to the basket. They want you to have them foul. Again, foul there by Bowers, sending Utah State to the line.
Harris at the foul line. Boise State leading 14-8. Broncos have just one of their last 7, and Utah State's missed their last 8. They're trying to get some points here from the line. And that one spins out for Harris. Emmy is an 83% free throw shooter. And makes one of 2 for the Aggies, who now trail 14-9 as we hit a minute to go in the first quarter. And that ball right through the wickets, turned over by Lalott and the Broncos. Falslev, they go down low for the layup by Lacey Hawthorne on the nice entry pass by Taylor Franson, and the lead is 3 for Boise State as Utah State has picked up the defensive intensity.
They have. There is this feeling out there right now that has the Broncos a little bit on their heels with this pressure from this zone defense put on by the Aggies.
Trying to shoot over the zone. No, the rebound missed on the follow by Muse, and the ball is down on the end line. Is it going to be a foul or a jump ball? And it's Boise State's ball on the alternating possession. Good hustle by Muse down low.
As we see here, looks like the Utah State player pushed Abby as she was trying to get the ball out of bounds.
Okay, and they did call the foul on the Aggies. Thought the officials were ruling alternating possession and Boise State's ball. So the Broncos with Jada Clark outside with 12 seconds to go on the game clock. Shot clock at 7, now 6. Clark, Leonidas, looking for space, gets the screen, fires up the shot, and it was deflected, and there's a shot clock violation on Boise State, sort of the scramble drill.
They were that, the way Utah State played that screen that Elodie made for Dominique, just didn't let her get that open shot.
We've played 1 quarter here at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State up by 3 thanks to Dominique Leonidas. The Broncos leading scorers got 8. Boise State by 3. Back after this on the Mountain West Network. Thanks to Dominique Leonidas, his 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Boise State takes that first quarter by a score of 14-11. She did it from 3. She did it running the floor. The easy layup there for the transfer from Brown University.
Yeah, Dominique has come out to play today, leading the Broncos with 8 points in that first quarter. She definitely is still feeling what she felt the last time the Broncos were here at home.
Narrow outside. Picks up the dribble, finds Leonidas, and she travels.
Nice look right there by Leonidas to, I believe, Elodie or it was Muse. She saw the open post player, wanted to get to her, a little bit of a rumble here with her feet, as you can see. It was Abby Muse. She knew she had her. Unfortunately, a little bit of travel there. Ball to Utah State.
Wickstrom. This is Franson, one of the few familiar faces on this Utah State team. Long three is off the mark, and the rebound run down by Randawa. And a deep triple is well off the mark, that time by Falslev. And Boise State comes down with the basketball. We talked, it was so important, Heather, for Boise State having not played in a couple weeks to really come out strong. Do you think they accomplished that in the first quarter?
I did. I thought the first quarter was a good quarter by both teams. Obviously, there's things that can be changed, but I thought both teams came out really strong. It was a very fast-paced first quarter, and I thought it was what both teams were looking for to start this first half.
Leonidas with the hoop and the harm. She'll go to the line. Probing, looking for that opening with the left hand, put it in.
What a player Leonidas is. That's just pretty, all the way left-handed. She's about to go to the line to potentially make a three-point play.
Goes with the left hand, but that left thumb wrapped. Didn't seem to bother her there. I like the way she anticipated the contact and worked through it.
Yeah, and she definitely held that ball to the left hand so nobody could touch it, and definitely got her in close to the basket.
Gets the friendly bounce, and the Broncos lead by 6.
Now Utah State can set something up as they look here to start this second quarter.
This is Randawa, brings the ball up herself. Very few touches for her in that first quarter. Swings it out to Kazeda. Kazeda back to Randawa. She'll fire mid-range and bury it. That's what the 16-point-a-game scorer is able to do, and draws the Aggies to within 4. Ostley outside, on top to Lalott. Back to Ostley, and now Narrow. Lalott on the baseline. Leonidas, shot clock at 8. Leonidas has a little bit of room. Strong with that one. Lalott fighting for the offensive rebound, and the Aggies come away with it.
The Aggies look to transition here, and the Aggies aren't afraid to take any shots, and shots like that, three-pointer in for the Aggies.
Randawa, 33% from long range, makes it a 1-point game, and now she has 4 points. And here come the Aggies again. Long outlet pass, a little too long, and the ball turned over. Randawa now with 7 points, correction, on 3 of 4 shooting.
And this Utah State team is going to transition. They are going to push. They will take one of those turnovers because they know many of other times they are going to connect on a 2-point basket.
With Utah State sitting back in the zone, as that one is too high and out of bounds for the turnover. That makes your outside shooting that much more important. It doesn't look like Boise State, outside of Leonidas, has many people who are willing to take that outside shot.
Yeah, the zone is the place you want to get it in so then you can get it out. As you can see there, that turnover by the Broncos was trying to get the ball deep to Elodie so they could get the easy bucket. And then in turn will open up those 3-point plays.
Broncos lead by 1, but Utah State now with a chance to take their first lead of the contest. Randawa up and under, no. Rebound to the Broncos. Cleared away by Trista Hull. Narrow, Leonidas. Narrow goes baseline, cut off. Leonidas probing, down low for Muse, doesn't get it to go, but an incredible look by Dominique Leonidas to find the slashing Abby Muse to the basket.
It is, as you see, Leonidas here attacks middle, causes the defender to come over. Abby Muse is open, she connects with her. Abby unfortunately was not able to connect on that basket, but it does send her to the free throw line for 2.
The sophomore from Brentwood, California. Heritage High School hits the first to give the Boise State advantaged up to 2. Second team foul this afternoon in the quarter on the Aggies. That one missed, and the rebound on the floor picked up by Wickstrom, and she brings it in the forecourt. Boise State by 2. Quezada back on top to Latone. Rendawa.
Little mismatch here with Dominique on Rendawa.
And the taller Aggie takes advantage. Rendawa with the bucket ties it at 18, and she's now got 9 to lead all scorers for Utah State. Tied at 18. Under 6 minutes to go here in the quarter. The floater by Nero is no good. Muse with the rebound, lost it out of bounds.
Yeah, the Broncos are having a little bit of tough time with that zone. It's exactly what Utah State wants. And the Broncos have not had a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
And they've allowed Utah State to tie it with 5:40 to go here in the second quarter. The ball poked out of bounds by Boise State's Mary Kay Nero, the sophomore from Beaverton. Rendawa triggers it in to Hawthorne. Hawthorne up and under, missed, and Muse with another rebound. Abby Muse with her 5th rebound of the contest. And Boise State looks to break this tie. Muse wrestles the ball free, gets it out to Osley. Back to Nero. Boise State's offense a little out of sorts right now, and that pass to the low post is knocked away. Here comes Hawthorne. Off the window and giving the Aggies a lead is Shyla Latone, the junior transfer from Cleveland State.
And Latone is a shooter. She can take it from anywhere, as you see there. She's not afraid to go over the taller players either with that 2-point play she got for the Aggies.
Latone 4 points and the Aggies by 2. Hull in the lane, missed that one. But the steal, and the Broncos tie it up. Osley with the steal to the basket for Trista Hull.
Great court awareness right there by Anna Osley. She saw that pass coming. She intercepted it, was able to get an easy assist for her teammate.
And the turnover gives the ball to Boise State, and that'll take us to a timeout. Broncos tie it thanks to some good defense by Osley to Hull. We're tied at 20. Timeout on the Mountain West Network. Well, after a slow start this afternoon, Kaylin Rendawa has certainly come to life. She's got 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting.
She has done it from all areas of the floor. You see here a little drive, jump shot. She's also had individual plays right here, the little mismatch, fadeaway. She has done it for this Aggies team, and she is the leading scorer for them and continues to be throughout the season.
Tied at 20, 4:15 to go here in the first half. Leonidas, the pass deflected, but Muse gets it, can't get it to follow. Osley with the miss, and the ball comes down to Muse, and I thought there was a whistle. Everybody stopped playing, and now there is a whistle as there's an injured Aggie on the floor. Check who that is. Is that Rendawa? It is, and certainly a lot of concern on the part of this Utah State team, but Boise State getting the opportunities down low, Heather, and just not able to finish at the glass. As
you see here, the Broncos got 3 looks at the basket on this possession, and the officials are letting both teams play on both sides, and it's been great, but the Broncos need to go up strong, and they need to get some of those little chippers in. As this game is tied, it could be very one-sided if the Broncos would be able to get those close ones in the basket.
Muse coming down with the ball, inadvertently caught Rendawa with an elbow, I think, and you see Kaylin being tended to out of Turlock, California, transfer from the University of Pacific. Boise State, after this afternoon's game, heads to UNLV on the 13th. Their next home game scheduled for the 19th when the Wyoming Cowboys come to town, followed by a really tough matchup against Colorado State. You see Osley with the miss, and there's the elbow by Muse, who inadvertently catches Rendawa with the left elbow. This Aggies team, after this afternoon's game, travels to San Diego to take on the Aztecs, and they travel to UNLV before returning home on the 19th and 22nd for Colorado State and Wyoming. So Mountain West play, fingers crossed these games get played. Things heating up.
Absolutely. With everything going on with COVID around the country these days, anytime a team can play, it's a huge win.
Osley, rainbow three, no. Long rebound, pulled down by Boise State's Jada Clark. A fresh possession for the Broncos. Osley with the screen, fires well off the mark that time. And the ball saved and pulled down by the Aggies. This is Quezada into the forecourt. Quezada to the baseline. Latone lost the ball. Stolen away by Jada Clark.
Broncos look to set some up here. Score tied. See if the Broncos connect on this possession.
Utah State has come out of that zone. Muse draws the foul, and that time Boise State recognized that they were playing man and was able to get the ball quickly into that low post, and Abby Muse fouled on the way to the basket.
Yeah, it was a nice look right there by Abby. She saw she could spin middle, one dribble up, sends her to the free throw line.
Boise State shooting just 21% from the field as Abby hits the first.
And that puts Abby 5 for 6 from the free throw line. 6 for 7, excuse me, from the free throw line today, which is a great percentage by any player.
She's had opportunities down low. She's missed all 6 of her field goals, but is getting to the line to the tune of 7 points, and the Bronco lead is 2, and there's an illegal screen, and the Broncos get the ball back as Osley does the dirty work and takes the charge.
Yeah, Anna got a piece of that screen, moving screen. She looks like she's doing okay. Never like to see a player hit the ground like that, but she's up and moving.
Taylor Franson from American Fork High School, the senior, checks back in for the Aggies. We've still not seen a return of Rendawa after she got that elbow. Osley's not shy, missed that one again, and on the rebound, a whistle and a foul against Boise State.
And we'll see if we can see a replay on that one. A lot of players down there.
Broncos,
yeah,
just 2 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, just a whole push right there. Caused that offensive play.
Should be the first team foul on Boise State. And now Rendawa checks back in, so she's okay and will go again. Team down by 2 with 2:40 to go here in the second quarter. Mensah gives the ball up to Quezada. Back to Mensah. And the rebound pulled down by Franzen. Mensah on the baseline. And an awkward looking shot, but getting bailed out was Quezada. Gets the foul on the 3-point attempt, and that should be 3 free throws for Utah State.
Yeah, the Utah State Aggies definitely was driving to the basket, trying to find that open player. They got it in that far corner look, as you can see here. A couple players on her, little fade away. 3 points. Going to the line to shoot 3.
An 80% free throw shooter, the transfer from Texas San Antonio, hits the first. That is her 3rd point of the contest. Misses that one long. Boise State hitting just 1 of their last 10 shots, but able to keep it close. That one missed again, and Lalott with the glass. So 1 of 3 only for an 80% free throw shooter, and the Boise State lead is 1. as we approach a 2-minute mark in the first half. Leonidas. Osley looks down low for Muse, and she is fouled underneath by Kazeda, who undercut her, and that will be the 5th team foul against the Aggies.
Definitely a bunch of post play happening here. You can see that push as the ball was coming in. You can't have 2 points of contact on the low post, which sends Abby Muse to the free throw line.
Abby, living at the free throw line today, hits the first. Gives her 8 points this afternoon. Outstanding, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, make it 9 of 10, and the Broncos are 10 of 11 from the stripe this afternoon, and that has them leading by 3 under 2 minutes to go.
And that is a statistic that's keeping the Broncos in this game.
Much better than their season average as Quezada hits the jumper. Boise State is a team this season only shooting 61% from the foul line, so a marked improvement. So that time off for that practice in Reno, they worked on their free throws, it looks like.
They did, and Abby going 9 for 10 at the free throw line is fantastic.
Osley, will this one drop? It does. Curls through the twine for the triple.
That one extra pass to find Osley for 3. Great look by the Broncos.
Breaks a long field goal drought for the Broncos, and now Abby Muse with the steal. Muse all the way, puts it in.
Post from coast to coast. I love it for Abby Muse. Fantastic steal, dribble down the court, layup, 2 points for her.
11 for Muse. Boise State lead is 6.
Utah State looks for an ISO play right here for their.
Here's Osley with the basketball, 3-on-1. Leonidas with the layup.
Coach Presnell over on the sidelines couldn't be more than happy with his Bronco team right now.
Double team in the post, and a whistle and a foul on the Broncos. Abby Muse with 11 points, Leonidas with 13 to pace the Boise State attack. Abby's season high 22 earlier this year.
What a spark of energy by this Bronco team. But the Utah State team continues to push it, as you can see there, getting a bunch of Broncos down there to cause the foul. Could have been a travel, but the referees called it a foul and sends Utah State to the free throw line.
Franzen hits the first. The second one spins off, and Lalott clears the glass. 11 seconds to go. Boise State looking to extend the 7-point lead. Narrow puts up the runner. No, Muse with the follow. Doesn't go, but there's a whistle, and I think they're going to get Narrow with the offensive foul, as she did charge into Quezada under the basket. Hard to hear the officials whistle.
There was lots of energy going on in the arena as Muse crossed the Utah State Aggie over and thought she had a good look at the basket.
2 seconds left here in the quarter. And the half ends with Boise State leading Utah State 31-24 here at ExtraMile Arena. The Broncos, thanks to Abby Muse's 11 points and 13 from Dominic Leonidas, lead at the half. Back with more on the Mountain West Network after this timeout. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. Boise State leading Utah State 31-24 at the half as the Boise State Spirit Squad, the cheerleaders, take the floor with their routine. They're going to compete at the national tournament next week. With Boise State leading, we take a look at the halftime stats, and the Broncos, Heather, despite shooting just 28%, have made up for it at the free throw line this afternoon.
They have. Shooting 10 from 11 from the free throw line is phenomenal, and that's what helps them with only shooting 28% from the floor. Utah State not shooting that great from the floor with 36%, because you like teams to reach about that 50% mark. Unfortunately, they are doing it on the other end. and getting some of those buckets to fall exactly when they need them to do.
We talked about the importance of Boise State's inside game and controlling the paint. You'd have to think at 24-17 rebounding, Gordy Presnell is pleased the way his bigs have responded.
He is, and the Broncos have gotten many attempts on possessions. They just have not been able to connect down close to the basket to get those little easy chippers, which would put this game a little bit different than the way it is now. If the Broncos can convert on some of those close baskets, those rebounds will turn into higher field goals and more points on the board.
Abby Muse, the leading rebounder for Boise State, with 6 this afternoon. She's on her way to perhaps her 5th double-double of the season. She has 11 points. Leonidas with 13 points. The other number that stands out to me as I look at the numbers, the Boise State is holding Utah State to just 14% from three-point range. They're a 30% three-point team on the season. That's good defense.
That is great defense, because this Utah State team is going to shoot, and they're going to continue to shoot no matter where it is, as we've seen many shots go up from all different areas of the floor. One of the things, as we see here with halftime stats, is both teams need to take care of the ball better. Turnovers in that double-digit mark is something you want at the end of the game, not at halftime. So where the turnover rating is 10 to 12, both teams need to focus on that.
Boise State leading by 31-24 at the half. More from ExtraMile Arena after this timeout, live on the Mountain West Network. Well, we said coming into this game that all eyes would be on the two teams' leading scorers. And Heather Berry, that has been the case today for Boise State. We are seeing Dominique Leonidas leading the way with 13 points and doing it in a very Dominique fashion, inside, outside, and everything in between.
She has. She's coming right. 13 points, 5 of 7 shooting, 2 for 3, as you see here. She's trying to find the open player. She's pushing it. She's running the floor. She's doing everything for the Broncos, and that's exactly what Coach Presnell wanted when he recruited her to this team.
Leonidas has already exceeded her 10.6 point per game average, and she is the reason Boise State leads 31-24 on an outstanding first half. On the other side of the coin, we're looking at Kaylin Randawa after we see this bucket by Leonidas on the break from Osley with the beautiful assist. And then for Utah State, Kaylin Randawa, she's leading the way with 9 points after a slow start to the game. She's heated up.
She has. She got hit down here on the other end of the floor. She caught an elbow, and she has come back, and she's come back strong. She is the scorer for this team. She is long. She is skilled. Utah State is setting up one-on-one transitions here, as you can see. Both of these players, which is funny that we're talking about it, are actually guarding each other during the game. So it's the battle of the leaderships on both teams, which is great.
The transfer from the University of Pacific has 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Boise State leads at the break 31-24. Second half action and more coming your way next after this timeout. Live from ExtraMile Arena on the Mountain West Network. And welcome back to ExtraMile Arena in Boise, Idaho, where the Broncos lead the Aggies 31-24 at the half. I am Mark Snyder along with Heather Berry. And Heather, this game we talked about at the beginning is important because each of these teams looking for their first win of the Mountain West season. As we take a look at the standings in the conference coming into play this afternoon, Boise State at 0-2 with 2 games postponed due to COVID. Utah State at 0-3, both teams on losing streaks. But if you look at the record so far in the league, they're not that far behind in the standings.
They're not, and as we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, the Broncos have lost by 10 points in the last so many games, and they have been close. So had those buckets, as we talked about, coming out and playing for the first 39 minutes and not letting it go to the last minute to determine games, this standings would be completely different for the Broncos. And as we talked about earlier, one of the things that all opponents in the Mountain West and in the nation right now, the common opponent, the pandemic.
Right.
And everybody's got to play through that. As you know, the Broncos have had the last 2 canceled, and it's going to come down to who can continue to play through the challenges and to be able to pivot, which will then make the standings change over and over again.
The other winless team in conference play, San Jose State, is at Colorado State this afternoon. Fresno State is at Wyoming, San Diego State at New Mexico, and Nevada at Air Force. As you look at the other games in the conference today, and after the play this afternoon, we will get a little better idea of how things shake out. Still a long way to go, but Boise State can't worry about this graphic that you see on the screen. They have to worry about the team in blue and gray on the other side of the floor, and they have to figure out how they can make the second half work. So if you're Gordy Presnell, what are you telling your team right now?
The last couple minutes of that first half, Broncos came out with some energy, and that's when the score went from tied to the Broncos up. And I would say Gordy tell his team to continue to fight. We got one half left, and let's determine it as we first come out in the first half versus that last minute of the quarter.
It looked to me as though when Utah State went to that zone defense, it threw Boise State's offense off. They looked much more comfortable when they were attacking the man. How do you attack a zone if the Aggies press it and put it on again?
The Broncos need to be patient. They need to find the ball inside, which then will allow them to get those three-point looks on the outside.
Utah State with the basketball to start the second half. This is Hawthorne, and the ball goes out of bounds off the Broncos. Stafford, Mensah, Randhawa, Latone, and Hawthorne, the original starters on the floor. This is Hawthorne for the Aggies. Gives it up to Mensah out of Toronto. Latone. Osley on her. And this is Mensah again behind the screen. Stafford drives, missed it at the shot clock buzzer, but the offensive rebound to Stafford, and a fresh shot clock for the Aggies as they pull down the rebound.
The Broncos start the second half in a man-to-man, which we've seen all game from them.
Latone drives on Osley, spins it home.
Latone is a shooter, and she will shoot from anywhere at that little drive to the basket on Osley.
Her first point of the half go to the Aggies. Muse at the high post left. Cut off, pass deflected, but Osley gets it, guns it down low, and out of bounds off of Boise State's Elodie Lalott. Had the position down low, but the dribble went awry, as you see it here.
Yeah, Elodie trying to back in to get a better look at the basket. Just happened to have the ball go off of her foot out of bounds to the Aggies.
Broncos protecting a 5-point lead. Mensah outside, guarded by Leonidas. Mensah drives, the shot is blocked by Muse.
Nice block right there by Muse. The Broncos are known to block shots, and this was a pretty one right here as Utah State drives to the basket.
One of the leading shot blockers in the Mountain West, fourth in the conference. Gets another one there. Randhawa drives on Narrow, forces her back out. Good defense by Narrow. Now a nice two-man game, but the shot missed by Hawthorne, and Narrow comes out of the pack with it for the Broncos. Lalott back to Narrow, off the window and scores. Nice two-man game there, and Boise State's on the board here in the second half.
Yeah, nice give and take right there by both Broncos to get the easy basket.
Denying with the overplay is Narrow, forcing Randhawa to retreat to near midcourt. She will fire from anywhere. That one's off the mark, and Osley with the rebound pushes the tempo for the Broncos. Lalott with the left hand.
Nice bucket right there by Elodie. Great first start to this second half.
And a timeout taken by the Utah State Aggies. It's a 30-second timeout. And they tell us it's a longer timeout, so we're back with more from the Mountain West Network after this timeout. Boise State with their biggest lead, 35-26, as the Aggies bring the ball out of the timeout with Mana Mensah. High post to Stafford. And Latone buries the triple. Nice play out of the timeout. And the Aggies down now by 6.
Nice screen play right there by the Aggies to get that open three-point look.
9 now for Latone. She and Renata now tied for game-high lead. Down low, Muse missed that one. Lalott muscles it, can't get it, gets a rebound, puts it home. Good, aggressive persistence by Lalott.
Nice bucket there. Broncos continue to drive to get a look at the basket, and we got 3 chances on that last possession.
This is Latone. She'll fire from 3. No good. And the Broncos fighting themselves for the rebound, and it's out of bounds to the No, it's to Boise State.
Love the hustle right there by the Broncos. Didn't realize, Elodie and Abby didn't realize they were on the same team.
And there's the play where you see for Utah State, Mensah was on the baseline and she had her hand on the ball. The Bronco player, Lalott, was inbounds. And Boise State gets the ball back with 6:35 to go, third quarter. Lalott catch down low, kicks it back out to Osley. Swing it corner, Leonidas for triple. Good! Great ball movement by the Broncos.
Great ball movement by the Broncos, getting the ball down in low to Elodie, swinging it across the baseline to Dominique for that three-point play.
Her 16th point, now the turnover. Leonidas comes out of the pack with it. Guns it down low for Lalott. Curls it in off the window.
Broncos are feeling it right now. They are connecting and passing the ball great and getting easy open buckets.
Foul against Boise State. Leonidas is second personal. Broncos on a 7-0 run over the last minute plus, and have hit their last 3 field goals, so they have turned up the offense here in this third quarter.
It's like what we talked about coming into the second half, is the Broncos needed to hit right from the beginning, and they have done that.
Osley with the rebound off the missed 3. Up 42-29. Lalott down low, muscles it home, and Lalott is on fire. Broncos have hit their last 4 field goals. That's now 8 points for Elodie Lalott.
Elodie is calling for that ball. She wants it.
And Muse with another rebound. Broncos look to run. They're having fun now. Osley drives. The Euro step scores. And another timeout taken by Utah State. And Boise State has blown this game wide open.
They have. The Broncos have come to play.
Boise State, the Euro step gives the Broncos the 46-29 lead. Timeout on the Mountain West Network. Boise State out on an 11-0 run over the last minute, 40 seconds. Elodie Lalott, a big reason why. And then Dominique Leonidas from the outside. So they're beating them inside and outside, Heather.
They are, and the Broncos are passing the ball great to find that open player. As you see, Elodie has been that spark that the Broncos have needed in this second half with that 11-0 run over the last minute and a half.
A 15-3 run over nearly 3 minutes here as the Aggies haven't scored in over 2.5 minutes, hitting just one of their last 7 field goals before that one by Adriana Quezada breaks the Bronco run, but they still lead by 15 midway through the third quarter. Osley finds Leonidas. Leonidas free throw line jumpers off the mark. And Harris with the rebound for the Aggies. Gives it up to Wickstrom. And the rebound pulled down by Abby Muse. Her 8th of the game. Broncos with 3 players in double figures right now. Leonidas, Muse, and Lalott. Pass for Franzen too far under the basket, and the turnover gives the ball back to Boise State. And we talked at halftime about turnovers. Boise State has done a really good job here in the second half of taking care of the basketball.
They have taken what was a turnover, and they've been connecting it, and that's part of it, is sharing the ball, taking care of the ball, and getting the basket, and the ball in the basket.
It's the way the game is played, but there's a turnover as Narrow's pass for Leonidas winds up on the bench. So just as I say, they're doing a good job taking care of the basketball. They throw it away. I'm not sure if she thought Abby Muse was in the game
exactly.
And threw it to Abby, who should have sat down earlier. So we'll only give Mary Kay half a turnover on that one. The drive in the lane, tough basket for Quezada. Quezada with the spinorama puts it in. She's got 9.
She's come to play this second half. She does not want this game to get out of control.
And there's another turnover. Leonidas' pass for Osley is too high, and that puts Gordy Presnell's hands on head as that one sails out of bounds.
This Bronco team has got to take care of the ball. They cannot continue to turn the ball over because that's when the game can flip momentarily.
They lead by 13 as Harris patiently with the dribble, guarded outside there by Trista Hull, who knocks it free. Shot clock at 15, so plenty of time for the Aggies. Wickstrom cut off and stolen by Leonidas. Dominique, scattered floor. Dominique with the left hand puts it home.
How pretty is that? Through two defenders, left hand off the basket.
Gazeta misses that one under Bauer's pressure, and then a loose ball foul against Utah State's Taylor Franzen. So watch this break. Now this is the foul.
Yeah, the Broncos continue to hustle for all those loose balls.
Rachel Bowers doing the dirty work down low. Under 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Clark misses that one. Or Hull, misses that jumper, and back come the Aggies. 15-point lead for the Broncos. So we approach 2.5 minutes here in the third quarter. Franzen spotting up and missing the three is Harris, and the rebound to the Broncos. Narrow. Osley. In and out. Heartbreak.
Perfect shot right there by Anna Osley, and that drive by Mary Kay just couldn't get the bucket to fall.
At the other end, the three-pointer for Wickstrom. Cuts the Bronco lead to 12. Osley shooting in some tough luck, just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc this afternoon. Gets it on top of Leonidas, and the pass down low for Bauer, but before the pass, a foul against Utah State's Franzen. Good recognition by Leonidas to see that she had Bauer slashing to the basket.
She did. Bowers was open. A foul there, and Bowers can do a little bit better job of actually posting up on her player, so she's got connect, easy basket, and then she won't have to go to the free throw line.
Lalott checks back in for the Broncos. Here's Leonidas in the lane. Fallback jumper, good from 8.
That's just pretty. I don't know what else to say, but she knows exactly where she's at on the floor, and she makes it look easy.
20 now for Leonidas. The lead is 14. Harris. Baseline Franzen. The shot is blocked. That was Wickstrom's shot blocked by the Broncos. Lalott. Leonidas. Osley, she'll keep firing. That one doesn't go down either.
Anna needs to continue to shoot. Those are shots that she will make and always makes.
Wickstrom airballs that three. Here comes Osley. A shooter's got to keep shooting. And Osley behind the back for Leonidas, and she is fouled.
Nice run right there by the Broncos, as you see. A little behind the back pass that Anna made to Dominique. Pretty. And then the foul, sending Dominique to the free throw line.
What made that play work is Dominique filled her lane on the 45 and was anticipating the ball, even though it was a tough pass. That's really good discipline and fundamentals.
That is. That's the practice of 2-on-1. That other defender coming in, which then caused the foul. Either you get the open bucket or you're going to be sent to the free throw line.
Interesting where she stands for the free throws, off to the side. Most players center themselves on the lane, but she's off at the angle. It works, but it's a unique approach.
It definitely is unique, and one of those things, as we talk about with the free throw line, is you find what works for you, whether it's the to the left as Dominique does or the 3 spins. You find what works for you and you do it the same every time.
Dominique with 21 this afternoon, and make it 22. Former team captain for Brown, and Brown, the Bruins loss is the Broncos game. That ball taken away by Leonidas. Just picked Rendawa clean and back the other way. Boise State cashes in.
And Dominique returns the favor to Anna.
Broncos lead 54-36. We've approached 30 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Broncos with their biggest lead of the afternoon. Shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Hull. With 16 seconds to go, the Broncos. Shot clock is off. Boise State looking to extend the lead to 20 as we head into the fourth quarter. Leonidas pounds the dribble. He's got a path to the basket. Steps up, fires, doesn't get it to go. And that's the way the third quarter ends. Boise State dominates the third quarter and takes a 54-36 lead into the break. As you see Dominic Leonidas leading the way with 22, and she gives and she receives. Broncos up big after 3. Thanks in part to a 10 of 18 shooting percentage in 56% in the third quarter. The Broncos lead by 18 as we start the fourth quarter of play. But Utah State misses that jumper and Lalott clears the rebound. Boise State dominating on the boards this afternoon. 38-26. And the Aggies have not scored in a couple of minutes, and there's a turnover against the Broncos.
Offensive foul right there on Trista Hull for setting an illegal screen here.
Kind of threw a hip check at her, perhaps. But you said that base has to be set and solid, and there was a little movement, and that's what the officials picked up on. So the Aggies with a basketball, and it's kicked out of bounds. Broncos will get it back. That might have been the best quarter the Broncos have played all season, certainly in Mountain West play, as they did everything right, defensively, offensively, and turning turnovers into points. And there's a nice steal taken away by Hull. Trista to Leonidas. Underneath, Clark puts it in.
Nice transition right there by the Broncos. Running the floor, Dominique saw her teammate for the easy bucket.
Broncos lead by 20, and there's a foul on Boise State's Mary Kay Narrow. Team second team foul here of the fourth quarter.
Mary Kay trying to push through that screen. She's either got to get up over the screen or she's got to go underneath the screen in order to not get that foul called.
And you were talking, Heather, about how important it is to play solid all the way so the game doesn't come down to those close close games at the end. But Boise State leading by 20 seems to have taken that advice.
They have, and they've got to continue to push because, as we know, basketball can be 20 points and then it can be down by 2.
True.
And
it's a game of runs.
It totally is. And with the Broncos, they got to continue to pound, and that will only help them in conference play if they continue to be consistent throughout the entire basketball game.
Another turnover by Boise State in that possession. Now here's Randhawa. Gives it over to Kazeta, back to Randhawa. You expect her to shoot a lot, and she will. And she missed that one. Rebound, Kazeta, and she is fouled. And you do not want to give Utah State chance to score with the clock stopped at the free throw line.
Yeah, rebounding, boxing out. Second chance points right there is something the Broncos can control. And as we talked about, you just said you don't want the other team to score when the clock is stopped. You want that clock to continuously run. So you don't want to send them to the free throw line.
First free throw is good. So Utah State just 3 of 7 from the foul line. Boise State 12 of 13. Now 4 of 8 from the foul line. So Boise State's done a good job of keeping the Aggies off the foul line today, as that one is run down by Jada Clark. Osley, Leonidas, stops, pops, missed. Rebound, Lalott. She puts it home.
Nice second chance points right there by Elodie. That O-board, easy bucket in.
This is a completely different Elodie Lalott than we saw in the first half. She has been very active as the three-pointer by Harris goes down, but Lalott, like they threw a switch at halftime.
They did, and Elodie has brought it. She is that spark that she can be and will continue to be for this Bronco team.
Osley down low for Muse, and Abby puts it home. Nice look by Osley. Didn't go for the three, put the ball on the floor, showed some patience, and Muse with the bucket. And now the turnover is Muse with the steal.
And that's a smart play by Osley. As she knows she's not hitting great, she drove, she saw the open Muse, get an assist versus a point. Great play there last game.
Well, Lott doesn't get that one to go, gets a rebound, puts it home.
And she could have been called for a foul there too, to send her to the line for three. Elodie is doing it big right now.
9 points, 14 rebounds for Lott. The Bronco lead now 22. And there's a double-double as Lott pulls down her 10th rebound.
Yeah, Elodie is playing great right now.
And Boise State takes the timeout. We will keep it right here. So if you look at the numbers, Boise State killing Utah State on the boards as the coaches thought they had that opportunity. 43-27 is the difference in rebounding, and Boise State has turned those into lots of points and just second chance points as Elodie Lott's shooting a very efficient 7 of 12 from the field.
Elodie has done great coming in and bringing that spark that the Broncos need to get this game up by 22. She has been fantastic on both ends of the floor. The Broncos are also shooting better. They're shooting 40% from the game now, which is different at the 20. I think we're shooting 28% in the first half. So that has been a proponent of this game too, flipping the cards as it was.
Boise State 14 offensive rebounds. That certainly has helped quite a bit as they have taken the advantage on second chance points. 11-8, it seems like it should be even greater than that, but it really shows when you have Abby Muse and Elodie Lott working down low, that then draws the defense closer, and that's going to free up your outside shooters, your Osley, your Leonidas, and those folks to really do a lot more.
You do, and as we look at the assists, the Broncos have 15 compared to 8 with the Aggies, and those assists are where the Broncos are finding their open players to get those easy baskets, which then allows the field goal percentage to come up. So it's an all-around, like we said, the third quarter I thought was a great quarter for the Broncos, and they're doing it from many ends. And we got 6:45 left, and the Broncos need to continue with that energy and that drive to finish this ball game.
Boise State leading by 22 with 6:45 to go. As Leonidas gets a much-deserved rest. And Boise State down low for Muse, runs it down on the baseline. Swing it near side narrow. Osley, right baseline. Gets the ball back and double dribbled. Good defense by Utah State. Osley wanted to go down low to Muse. It wasn't there, and that forced the turnover.
Yeah, there was that high pick and roll, and she saw Muse open. She just didn't, she had already used her dribble, which then caused the turnover for the Broncos.
Rendawa with the basketball. Narrow has done a really good job on Rendawa today. That's a tough ask defensively. That's the rebound pulled down by the Aggies. And Rendawa misses that one. And Muse, good block out, gets the basketball on the rebound. Muse tries to force it into Bowers, but Osley gets the deflection. Kicks it out to Narrow. Mary Kay runs it down. Little scattered floor right now. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Muse underneath, cannot finish. Gets the ball back to Osley for the layup.
An assist right there by Muse to Osley, going right down to the basket for the open bucket.
Perhaps not the way you diagram that play, but it worked.
It worked. Gordy Presnell was not happy with that play until the basket went in the hole.
Broncos now up by 24, their biggest lead. Muse with another rebound. That is her 11th, so she has her 5th double-double of the season.
Definitely is the game of the post play, as we talked about earlier. If the Broncos are going to win this, they're going to win it by the post, and Elodie and Abby have done a great job making that happen.
And on the drive, Narrow is fouled. Mary Kay, you would think it's not much of a performance if you just look at the scoring, but she leads the team in assists. She has done a great job defensively on the leading scorer for Utah State. So the little things that coaches really appreciate that may not show up to the average fan, but when they watch film, they're going to love the way this game is played for Mary Kay.
It is, and that's what you want in a point guard. You want somebody that when they need to be flashy, they're flashy. When somebody else is doing it for them during that game, they are just steady, and Mary Kay has done that. As you talked, it's not been a flashy game for her, but it has been consistent, and that is exactly what this Bronco team needs from her.
Her call out the play as she commands the offense after that foul. 4.5 minutes to go in this one. Narrow takes it all the way. Left hand doesn't get it to drop, but Bowers with the follow and puts it home.
And it's a play like that from Mary Kay that opens up a bucket for her teammate, Rachel Bowers. Little things will always get it done.
And Bowers with the block, but a foul on the play. I think they're going to get Rachel. No, it's Osley underneath. Watch here, Bowers with the block, and it's Osley inside who gets whistled for the foul. 4th team foul on Boise State. And that sends Lacey Hawthorne, a 51% free throw shooter, to the foul line. Out of Fort Worth, Texas, another Murray State transfer. She and her teammate, Nana Mensah, both transferring from the Murray State Racers to the Utah State Aggies. That breaks a long drought for the Aggies scoring. Osley runs that one down. Utah State over 3.5 minutes with no field goals.
It's the tale of two halves for this Utah State team.
Exactly. Narrow finds Bowers. Corner to Jada Clark. Nice pass down low from Muse, and she is fouled on the way to the basket. That was exactly what the coaches want. Crisp passing and good off-the-ball movement created the opportunity for Muse down low.
It is in the post-to-post play where you pull your post up high. Rachel Bowers can hit from up there, so her being a threat up there then opens up the basket for Abby Muse to be able to go to the free throw line.
That one not good. She's 9 of 11 now from the foul line, as Boise State's lead is 25. 1 of 2. So Abby now with 14 points this afternoon. Franzen misses, and Muse with another rebound. 3.5 to go in this one, and Boise State comfortably out in front. And a whistle on Franzen, and the foul as the pass came into Abby Muse in the post.
Yeah, the Broncos, as you see here, Utah State is double teaming the ball, which then allows the player to be open.
4th team foul on the Aggies. Quezada checks back in for the Yankees. Excuse me, the Aggies. Narrow. Misses that one in traffic. And Harris comes out with the ball, and then it's knocked away at the scorer's table by an aggressive Jada Clark. We approach 3 minutes left in this one. Chance for Gordy Presnell to perhaps empty the bench a little bit. As Boise State is comfortably in front by 26. Harris with 3 on the shot clock. Drive, shot is blocked and taken away by Narrow. Did they call a foul? They must have called a foul on Mary Kay.
Foul coming from the baseline official. Anytime you've got that swipe down that you saw right there by Mary Kay, the odds of it being called a foul. As Abby leaves for the bench, probably for the rest of the game. This tie, her 5th double-double of the season and the 6th career for Abby.
Mackenzie Narrow from Beaverton, the freshman, on the floor for Boise State. Also on the floor, Sydney McQuieter, a transfer from Boston College, a native Texan. And also on the floor, Lindsay Lavrovich, a freshman from Gig Harbor, Washington, as they get a chance in this game, which is 2 minutes and 40 seconds from its conclusion.
And Utah State comes out with pressure, full court pressure.
Narrow misses that one. McKenzie, quick trigger. Rebound pulled down by the Broncos. And that's Mackenzie Narrow with the rebound.
Nice block out right there by McKenzie.
Broncos winning the battle of the boards now, 50-29. Narrow, McQuieter, she'll fire, strong. Rebound, Clark, no, can't get it to drop. And Rendawa goes coast to coast. She's got 11, but it has been a long time in between baskets for the leading scorer for the Aggies.
It is, and the Aggies are still playing hard with this full court pressure, not letting up at any point for the Broncos.
Sydney McQuieter with the bucket. In high school is a top 20 forward nationally, even though she missed her senior year due to an injury. Hawthorne spins that one out, and the rebound off the Aggies to the Broncos. And Utah State's starters, for the most part, have stayed in. So some good minutes for Boise State's second unit.
They have, and as we talked about, Utah State is trying to still get this group of transfers on this team to learn how to play together. So coach's vision from Utah State is to continue to get this group some reps together.
Utah State with under a minute to go. Kizeda to Harris. Gets the screen, free throw line jumper is good. Just the second of last 9 field goals to go in for the Aggies, as Boise State has really put the clamps on them here in the fourth quarter, really the whole second half.
They have the tale of 2 halves, as we talked about earlier. The Broncos came out in that third quarter and they did what they needed to do, as we talked about. Probably one of the best quarters we've seen from the Broncos this year, when they put it together for many different angles.
Shot clock at 4 as McQuieter hits the short jumper. She's got 4, and shot clock is off, 71-47. Broncos comfortably in front. Clark with the ball, and they'll just run the clock out, and Boise State gets that all-important first Mountain West Conference win. They improve now to 1-2 overall and 5-9 overall, and a big win for Boise State, 71-47, as Boise State.
The Broncos, great game by many. We had many Broncos that did it from many ends of the floor. Leonidas coming in with 22, Lalat ending with 14, Muse ending with 14. Both of them had double-doubles, so it was a well-rounded victory for the Broncos today. In front of a great fans here.
Boise State outscoring Utah State in that second half, 40-23. And they comfortably off to a win, thanks to Dominique Leonidas' 22 points. She also added 4 assists and generally controlled things very well, as Dominique will join us here momentarily as we get set here at courtside. As Dominique Leonidas, your player of the game, the transfer from Brown University. The weather a little better in Boise than it is in Providence, Rhode Island, but they're getting socked with the weather right now, and Dominique joins us now. Dominique, Mark Snyder, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on an outstanding game today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What was the difference between the first half and the second half, because your team put it all together in that second half?
Well, in the first half, I felt like we were a little flat, and Coach talked about that at halftime. We were a little flat. There was not enough energy on the court, so coming out second half, we knew we wanted to bring the energy and make sure we played hard for the rest of the 20 minutes.
Yeah, you being a leader on this team, what did you tell your team at halftime in order to get them to come out with that spark?
Yeah, so third quarter, we're usually flat. In previous games, we usually don't come out hard in the third quarter, so I told them we got to play hard the first 3 minutes. The first 3 minutes of third quarter is usually the most important part of the game, so that's what we did.
Having not been able to play a game since New Year's Eve because of COVID, how important was it to get to a good start today, and how do you carry this momentum on the rest of the season?
Yeah, our coaches were telling us, like, we haven't played in a minute, so we should be coming out here with a lot of energy. Obviously, we know what we can do, and we showed it today, so we got to bring it for the rest of the conference and let them know that we're here.
All right, Dominique Leonidas, the game's leading scorer at 22 points. Congratulations, great game today.
Thank you.
Boise State with an easy 71-47 win. But really, as we talk, Heather, that second half where they clamped down defensively, turned over Utah State and led to easy baskets, and the post play. I mean, when you have Dominique Leonidas from outside and driving, and then you can turn right around and you have your post players in Muse and Lalott just dominate down low. That's a good recipe for the rest of the season.
It is. It was a great win for the Broncos today. First one in Mountain West play. We got it done by Dominique, as you saw, and then we got it with Abby and Elodie on the post. Great win, done by many, as we talked about Mary Kay as well. Great win as they head into the rest of conference play.
Boise State wins, and they now are 1-2 in conference play, 5-9 overall. A 71-47 win over Utah State. For Heather Berry, and our entire crew, I am Mark Snyder. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, live from Boise, Idaho on the Mountain West Network. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.